In a quiet village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a wise old farmer named Eli. He had a grandson, Ben, who loved spending time with him, learning the ways of nature and farming. One day, as they sat under the shade of a large oak tree, Ben turned to his grandfather and said, "Grandpa, when I grow up, I want to be strong and wise like you. Can you teach me how?" Eli smiled and nodded. "I will teach you a lesson, but it won't be with words," he replied. The next morning, Eli handed Ben 2 seeds. "These are special seeds," he said. "They are both from the same plant, but I want you to plant them in different places." Ben was curious. "Where should I plant them?" he asked. Eli pointed to 2 locations. "Plant the first seed in a sheltered spot by the house, where it will be safe from the elements. Plant the second seed on the hill, where it will face the wind, rain, and sun." Ben did as his grandfather instructed. He planted the first seed close to the house, where it was shielded from the wind and rain by the walls. The second seed was planted on the hill, where it was exposed to the elements. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Ben diligently cared for both plants, watering them and watching them grow. The seed by the house sprouted quickly, growing into a small, delicate plant. It stood tall, but its leaves were soft, and its stem was thin. The seed on the hill, however, had a tougher time. It struggled against the strong winds, endured the heavy rains, and basked in the scorching sun. It grew more slowly, but its stem became thick and sturdy, and its roots dug deep into the earth. One day, after many months had passed, Eli and Ben went to check on the plants. The plant by the house had grown tall, but as soon as a strong wind blew, it began to wobble. Its roots were shallow, and it was not strong enough to withstand the force of the wind. When they climbed the hill to see the second plant, Ben was amazed. It had grown into a small tree, with strong branches and deep roots that held it firmly in place, even in the face of the wind. Eli turned to Ben and said, "Do you see the difference between the 2 plants? The one that grew in comfort and safety is weak, easily shaken by the wind, but the one that faced challenges became strong and resilient." Ben nodded, understanding the lesson. "So, to become strong and wise, I must face challenges and not be afraid of difficulties," he said. Eli smiled and placed his hand on Ben's shoulder. "Exactly, my boy. It is through struggle and hardship that we grow the most. Never be afraid of the winds of life, for they will only make you stronger." And from that day on, Ben embraced every challenge with courage, knowing that each one was an opportunity to grow stronger, just like the tree on the hill.